Vlog time, vlog time, vlog time, vlog time. I have an idea of what I want to talk about today, but I don't know exactly how I want to approach it yet. I did not script this out. I don't script these out. One thing I want to share with you, this is kind of meta. This is kind of like vlogging about vlogging, just a little bit. I'm not going to become one of those guys who like every other week publishes the camera I use for my vlog. It doesn't matter what camera you use. But I will say if you use the Canon 80D, the Canon 80 letter D, there's a problem in the design. I'm going to show you. I'm just getting my iPhone out here so I can take a picture of this. There's a problem with the way the microphone plugs into the actual camera that interferes with the flip out screen. This doesn't make sense unless I show you, so let me show you. Alright, so this is my 80D. You can see that's what I'm saying, 80 letter D. That's the Rode VideoMic Pro, and it plugs in via this little cable, and Canon for some reason decided to put the audio in jack and the camera strap attachment right in the top corner of where the flip out screen is. It just seems like Canon would know that the 70D was the vlogging camera of choice in DSLRs, and they would have fixed this little problem. They could move the camera strap attachment and the audio in jack to another place and it would be no problem. Growing your business. You know, for many years we did very well in our business. And our business was really me running a business with some contractors. They were all over the world, and we ran it out of a spare bedroom in our house. And eventually I needed some more privacy and the ability to focus away from the hubbub of the household, so I rented an office outside the house. And after that step, interestingly, our revenue grew. And in the past couple of years, we've really had skyrocketing growth. We crossed the $1 million in revenue mark this past year, and now we're in an interesting position. I was having this discussion with my mastermind group today. We're in this position where our goal is to be, we're now $1 million company, 1 million to 3 million probably this year, and our goal is to get to the point where we're a $5 to $10 million company. And guess what? The level of thinking and the level of business acumen and the level of staff and the level of what things that staff is engaged in all has to change. Now, some of you are laughing at me right now saying, well, duh, Edwards, that's how it works. But it's interesting to me, we just promoted Sean to the position of COO, Chief Operations Officer of the company. And, you know, it's a for real deal. I mean, he's the COO of $1 million plus company. And his goal, his assignment is to grow that company a lot. That's a pretty big assignment. And as the CEO, I am the vision caster, and I am creating the content, writing the books, and architecting the content of the events and so forth. And I'm, for the first time now, really becoming able to focus on doing only the things that I'm good at. Only the things that only I can do are the only things I am doing. Well, we're getting there. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there as we bring on more people and more help. What's interesting, though, is that I often, and maybe you've had this experience, I often would read stories or see interviews with business people about how growth is scary because you reach a certain level of success and you feel like, yeah, we're a 7-figure company. And then you realize to get to be an 8-figure company, you've got to spend a lot more money. You've got to invest in people. You've got to invest in infrastructure. You have to take risks. That's the nature of being an entrepreneur. It's uncomfortable. And I was saying to my family at dinner last night as we were talking about our goals as a company for the coming year and the coming next 3 years, I said, you know, we've got to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's how it's going to be if we're going to grow into what we believe we can become. And that sounds trite. It sounds like a bumper sticker or an Instagram quote, but it's true. You've got to learn to manage a certain level of discomfort if you want to grow, because all the growth comes through or with discomfort. One of the challenges is money. You would think, well, you made $1 million last year. Well, we didn't get to keep it all. We had expenses, we had staff, we had vendors, we had websites, we had credit card fees that we paid. We don't have any credit card debt, but people pay us with debit cards, and the credit card companies take a fee out of each transaction. And when you get to this level, that fee adds up to quite a bit of money. So we didn't get to keep all that $1 million. We got to keep some of it. And a lot of it gets plowed back into the company. And so you're faced with this choice of, well, how much am I going to reinvest? Because I've got a lot of money now, and I'm about to shove all that money back onto the roulette wheel and see what happens. That's how it feels. And it's exhilarating. It's also a little scary. And one of the things that I've held on to in the last 6 months or so is something my friend Michael Hyatt said. He said, you know, we were talking about budgets and how much money some of these things cost, and how one of the things that I would bring up is I didn't have the budget to hire all the people I wanted to hire. And Michael said, you know, all of us as CEOs, as founders of companies, we all have a vision that's bigger than our budget, or at least we should. Boom. Mind blown. So that's the thought for this week. You might be growing, you might be experiencing success, and you might also have a cash crunch going on. It happens to every good business as growth begins to outstrip capacity. And so the question to ask yourself is, do you have a vision that's bigger than your budget? And if you don't, how are you going to get one? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this whole subject, your comments. Give it a thumbs up if you think this is a good discussion for us to be having, and share it if you think it's worth sharing. And of course, I'm always going to encourage you, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I do a weekly vlog, something like this. It's different from week to week, but it's usually about business, copywriting, marketing, or the spiritual aspects of a business practice. So if you like that kind of stuff, if that sounds intriguing, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until next time, I pray that God blesses you and He prospers you wildly. See ya.